All right, so this is our first experiment with building a worm bin. I've watched all kinds of videos on YouTube and read a few blogs as well. The one thing that I didn't do with this that I will see if it's needed is I saw one guy put some screen on his holes so the worms wouldn't crawl out. We'll see if that's a problem. I've essentially heard that when they're not happy because it's either too wet or too dry, they'll and some other factors, not enough food, will try to leave. So hopefully they'll stay in there, and this will still be enough to get plenty of air in there, and we'll see how it goes. But stay tuned, and I'll show you how we made this.
What are the worms for?
What's that?
What are the worms for?
They're gonna eat all that stuff for us.
For what?
What do you mean? For
And
what?
then? What?
And then we're gonna put that on our garden. It's gonna make yummy, yummy compost for our garden. So when they eat all this stuff,
Do just be.
they poop it out, and then we take that poop and we put it in our garden, and it's super nutrient dense, so it's got lots of good stuff inside that's gonna feed our plants and make amazing, yummy vegetables in our garden. Is that exciting?
Yes, but worms.
But worms, totally. High five. Not with the worm man. Okay, so we already use a lot of our kitchen scraps in our compost, but we wanted to try some other methods as well. We're going to build a worm bin. This is going to be Sequoia's worm bin. She's going to help me out with some stuff later. And the worms are going to eat up a lot more of our kitchen scraps, as well as shredded up paper. My dad has a lot of paper that he shreds, so I asked him, hey, just give us that, and we can sit here and compost that in the worm compost as well. So just finding things that people would otherwise throw away, we get to use, becomes an amazing resource that helps our garden, which helps us grow our food and herbs and other stuff. So there's the regal Diego sitting in his chair, overlooking some of the stuff that we have to make our worm bin. Basic drill. I'm going to use a smaller drill bit to drill some holes in the top of the bins, and a bigger one to let in some air in some other spots as well, but we'll get into that in a moment. Okay, so a couple bucks on sale at the store for each one of these bins. This is some of the shredded paper that I got that my dad was just gonna throw away. And these bins don't give their own space, so I put some stuff down. I've got some spare scraps of wood. Probably better to use rocks though. I haven't decided yet. This will actually break down, so what's going to happen is we're going to put the worms and all of the food scraps and paper scraps in here. We're going to have holes in the bottom because it creates kind of a liquid, both all the fruits and stuff breaking down, worm pee, that good kind of stuff. It's all going to drip down into here and collect, and that's an amazing fertilizer. So we'll have that as well, and then the worms will come in here with all the stuff. They'll eat all that stuff, they'll poop it out, and then that worm poop is also an amazing fertilizer. So we're pretty excited. More ways to recycle our waste and create a real premium source of fertilizer for our plants. So I'm literally just going to screw holes around the top of the bin as air holes for the bin. I'm also going to drill some holes at the bottom of the bin to let that fluid seep through and get collected, so it doesn't just sit at the bottom of all this but actually goes down and becomes also amazing liquid fertilizer. So I also want to make sure that the bottom bin has plenty of ventilation so that the liquid that gets collected under doesn't just get stale and stagnant under there, but has some airflow underneath. So I'm just going to open up a few larger holes. I'm not worried about worms getting out of here. So it's just some larger holes on the side, let plenty of air through. Okay, so we've got a bunch of shredded up paper, but we want to get it a little moist. So I'm going to put the paper into a bucket, fill that bucket with water, drain the water back out, squish some of the water out. This stuff, because it's shredded, is really going to soak stuff up, but we want it nice and damp in there for the worms. You don't want to get too moist, then things can get pretty foul and nasty smelling as well. But we want it damp, especially as we get things started, for the worms to be happy in their home. So I'm going to start with that, about half that bag. So this stuff, because it's so shredded, it's actually pretty nice, because the water just absorbed it all in there. So there are apparently all kinds of things that can go wrong with the bins that make the worms want to crawl out. Having paper or material that's too wet or too dry, all kinds of different stuff. This seems, because it's so shredded, it absorbed the little bit of water that I put in there very well. There's still a little bit that I might sponge out so it doesn't get too liquidy, but I'm going to kind of have it like a wrung out sponge for the worms. Okay, so I've got my wet paper shreddings. I'm going to put some of those at the bottom. I'm also going to mix in a little bit of dry. I'm not going to fill this up a ton at first. A lot of the videos that I've watched have said to slowly introduce, so we'll put some worms in, let them get a little situated, then put in some more and more, and then put in more and more material each time, and try to slowly acclimate them that way a bit more. So that's all the wet stuff, because I don't want to be too moist in there. I'm going to put some of the dry stuff as well. That'll help to kind of find a middle ground as that moisture moves apart. And there'll also be the wet food scraps. They're going to add their moisture to everything, so it'll still get wet in there, but this will help to kind of hopefully balance it out a bit. Okay, so this is Sequoia's worm bin. So she's going to help me with this last part here. We're going to put in some. We have the shredded up paper in here. We're actually going to add some leaves as well. And we're going to add some food scraps, but, so as you can see here, food scraps. But you'll also notice there's a lot of citrus in here, and the worms don't really like citrus. So we're actually going to take this out as we go along and not put that in the bins. But there's some coffee in there, all kinds of stuff. But any citrus we're going to leave out. So Sequoia, let's put...
I'm not going to put it in there, it goes.
Hold on.
Pour it in.
I will, but we're getting the citrus in.
Oh, I put citrus.
No, that's bananas, not citrus. Put the bananas in there.
What about this?
That's citrus. That's a lemon. We'll keep that out.
Vanilla?
Yeah. You can put that coffee in there.
Oh,
It's okay. So it
citrus.
does.
Ooh, is that citrus?
This was part of that rose. That will be for.
What's that?
That's not citrus. That's lettuce.
Oh, well, strawberries?
Strawberries are okay. More coffee. Coffee. Strawberries. Ooh, there's some good mold up in there.
Is that good?
It's fine.
Oh,
It's totally fine for the compost.
orange went in there.
It's okay. Little tiny ones are alright.
No, look at
I
that.
know. It's alright. It's alright.
That's a big piece.
It's okay. It's okay. Alright, so. Next is the worms. So we just went to our local gardening store and got a half-pound worms. So that we know how to make it in the future. It's like our
You sure?
video novel. Yeah, I'm sure. Yes. Okay, so we're not going to put them all in at once.
Oh,
Ooh, so grab like a handful and get some of the poop that's already in there. Oh yeah, look at that! Oh my goodness, careful. Ooh. All right, hold on. Sequoia loves worms. She loves playing with worms. There you go. So,
there's lots of worms.
you got lots of worms. We're gonna put a few more, but try to spread them out a little bit more. So kind of place them.
So that's
Oh,
just dirt.
yeah, that's just their poop. Okay, whoop. Okay. So we got a lot of
Is there
there.
poop right there?
Yeah.
Ew. Gross.
Okay, that's enough for now. We're gonna save these guys for later.
Can I hold one?
You can grab one from there.
Ew.
Okay, so there you got it.
Daddy, one fell.
Uh-oh, grab it. Food, worms.
Poop.
Awesome. These guys are gonna eat up all of this stuff. And we'll poop it out and make some amazing and worms. And make some amazing compost.
Wait, fell in.
Alright.
Well, we can get in. Oh, two.
Ooh.
So we let the worms, I'm gonna put them back in. So these worms here, they're gonna go back in. So they will like go there so they can eat. And then what? Actually, might be over here. Might just like go in the paper right there.
And whose bin is this?
It's my bed.
And are we gonna decorate the outside with some stickers and stuff?
Yes.
Cool. Do you want to put the lid on?
Should we show Mommy first?
Yeah, well, we'll show her. We're not going to leave this right here. We're going to put this on the side here. Ta-da!
I'll hold it.
No, we don't put from that one. We put from the other side. No, it's the bottom underneath. I'll get it. Ta-da!